holding back from faith to facts, yeah, we keep it stacked. Laugh a little, think a lot, break it down, connect the dots. Let's go. Time to speak it out. Talking it out. Talking it out. Gilbert and Miller, we're bringing it out. Real voices, real truth, real vibe. If it matters to you, we taking it live. Talk it out, work it out. Gilbert and Miller, let's talk about it.
Hello, everybody. Once again, we welcome you to Talk It Out with Gilbert and Miller. And before we begin, we must say happy birthday to Miller. Her birthday was on Saturday. 30 never looked so good.
Hello, forever. 30 forever.
Happy birthday. Tell me what you did. You didn't know I was going to do this, so I'm putting it.
No, I didn't. So, what we did on that morning, I did the Black Wall Street Reimagined, and I had to sing and I had to speak as well. And then we left there.
So wait a
Came,
minute.
huh?
Well, I said, wait a minute. A lot of people don't know that you can sing, but she is a beautiful psalmist, and also preacher. But so you were out singing at the Black Wall Street in Montgomery County, right?
Yeah, at the University of Maryland, as
Okay.
well as speaking. I spoke about, some of the things that I'm doing, and I shared with some of the entrepreneurs and people that were there. And so that was half the day. Then I came home, took a quick 2-hour nap, and then by that time, that was all the kids and grandkids could take. They called, they were ready to go. Oh, Grandma, where are you when we're leaving? And so then everybody got corralled up, and we went over to the Olive Garden where everybody could just have fun because, kids, you got to go a place where you can, and we had
Shout out
just
to the Olive Garden salads.
hello, as much as you want, the soup,
Right.
all you want, the bread, all you want, as they're going to play with it all. They're going to laugh, giggle, talk. So I got so many flowers, so many cards. It's amazing to see the grandchildren as they get older. They give you more meaningful cards. And I think William, the one that's graduating this year, he gave me a really meaningful card telling me how important I am to him. And he said, Grandma, you talk so nice and sweet to me. No one else does that. And so that was a blessing. And of course, poor Pastor Troy. I mean, he had to endure, he's real calm. He had to endure the lively bunch. And we had a good time. Everybody had a good time, and we enjoyed ourselves. And then after that, we gave the grandkids the boot. We gave Pastor Troy the boot as they took me as my daughter, Nakia, and one of the young men that was one of the young deacons at Tabernacle of Praise Church when I first started many years ago. But I'm kind of like a play mama to him because he lived with me for a while. And so they took me shopping. And so we went shopping, and they said, we just want you to get whatever you want to get. And this was the one time I didn't have like a list or a plan.
Right.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, why didn't y'all tell me in advance? I would have wrote some stuff down. So we got there. The store said it stayed open till 11:30. We got there to Burlington because they have to go where they can afford, of course. And they said, you have 20 minutes. We'll be closing.
Oh, man.
in 20 minutes. So I just grabbed a couple of things.
Right.
Makeup, my friend, and a few brushes for the makeup, and then a shirt or two, and just left. I said that was
yeah.
So I had a blast. It was good. I did. My brother, John, in Alabama, my older brother, sent me this massive computer. That's my thing, is technology. He sent me this massive computer, Dell computer. I was so like blown away.
Wow.
He and his wife, and then my brother Tim, he sent money. My younger
Okay.
brother,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And then
Well,
I
I got
got,
I got a few dollars for you.
all right. I want all my dollars. I
I
want.
thought I was gonna see you today, but I'll keep it in my pocket
All
till
right.
we see each other. Yeah.
Okay. And so I thank you for that. And so just I had a good time, and I like, celebrating my birthday. I think I had, two brain surgeries. And
Oh
so,
no.
yeah, I did over a span of 5 years. And so after that, it changes how you view birthdays coming around, how you view life in general. And so after that, I'm always so happy when I get to see another birthday. So they when they come around, they can't come soon enough, because I'm just like, I rack it up.
That's
Yeah, the whole
that's
month I rack it.
yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten so many
Well,
dresses out of poor Pastor Troy, at least four
that's what's up.
from the good
Tell my
place.
man I said. Tell my
From the
man
good
I said hello. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can get started. That's all I did
Yes.
this
So,
weekend. Everybody, that was a hot topic. That was one of the hot
yeah.
topics.
Yeah. Yeah. So tonight we are going. We're going beyond the headlines. I know that everybody's looking at what's going on around the world on the news stations that everybody look at, but we want to dive a little
Mhm,
deeper. We're looking at the truth that often gets
mhm,
overlooked and not reported in the
mhm,
mainstream coverage, and how, especially how it affects the communities that we live in and we serve.
mhm.
This
Yeah.
platform, is about facts and faith
Mhm,
and forward thinking and dialogue and seeing ahead of the time. We're focusing on issues that impact the Black church, African
mhm.
American communities, and the broader uh, world around us. So, are you ready
I
to
agree.
jump into it?
I'm ready to just
All right.
talk it out. So let's talk it
Yeah.
out. Listen, I think before we move down a little further, we just need to address the loss of life. I'm a veteran, and so the loss of life for those that we have what, six or eight Americans who have lost their life in well, they're not
Yeah.
calling it a war yet. They're calling it, what are they calling it? The bombing that they've been doing.
You want to know what
Um,
I call it?
what you call it?
I
Tell
call
me.
it an atrocity
Mm-hmm.
against human life.
Yeah.
We are in a terrible time where one man, or now two men, the leader
Mm-hmm.
of Israel and the leader of America, are making decisions without any checks or balances. But I'm
Yeah.
sorry, and
No, no,
while you're
no.
talking,
I agree with you.
yeah, and to bomb folks, because we can even attach this on a day on Black History Month. We can attach this that it was the time where Jesse Jackson died, and Jesse Jackson has stood for peace among
Mm-hmm.
not just the African American community, but he had went and got hostages
Mm-hmm.
um, released. He was always against war and stood for peace, and so it's a bad time in America when one or two people can can almost start a world war without
Mm-hmm.
any checks or balances happening.
And that's the question. I think that's on everybody's mind. What in the world is going on? How is this happening? You and I both know never in history has there been anyone in office where they didn't have to answer to the other branch of government. They just said, no, this is what I
Yeah,
decided to do. It was best interest of and they do that. It's alarming. It's so alarming. What are your thoughts about that? That's crazy. What in the world?
yeah. So everything that they're doing is it is attached to uh, the Israel government and the
Mhm,
Jewish community, and so this is connected to the control of the Holy Lands,
Mm-hmm.
and how Israel has always felt that Iran was a threat to their existence. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's then also, Iran provides oil to
Mm-hmm.
China.
Mm-hmm.
Iran provides a lot of natural resources
Mm-hmm.
to China. And so all of this is connected to basically what we would say in our communities are gangs, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
a gang of America and Israel, uh, and then you have a gang of Iran or Iraq and
Mm-hmm.
China and Russia, and and so we look at our communities and we say, well, we need peace, we need to
Mm-hmm.
stop the gang violence. But when you look around the world, it's the same exact thing happening
Mm-hmm.
in our world that we're fighting against in our communities.
I believe it. And then the thing about it, think about it. You brought up one really, I mean, really important point that puts a black mark in Black History Month. Okay, we were celebrating the 50th month, the 50th year that it was a month, and 50 years 50 years that it was a week. So altogether, it makes it 100 years because the first 50 were just a week, the last 50 were a month. And so that puts a black mark there during the time that one of our major African American leaders that he transitioned, as well as this is Ramadan. I mean, that's not our holy
Right.
time because, we're Christians and we celebrate the birth of Christ, we celebrate Easter and those things, but this is a holy time for them. And so, with that, it's just all so, I think it was very, very calculated of what
Yeah.
they intended to do and how they did it. I think they've been talking about this for weeks. It didn't just happen
Well,
overnight.
one sign that this was not just something that just happened was when you look at the market. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the market went jacked up
Mm-hmm.
the day or a couple of days before this happened, and now that we have been exposed to
Mm-hmm.
the Epstein files and how everything is connected, we
Mm-hmm.
can see, or
I mean,
it's not a conspiracy anymore
mhm,
to think that these systems are
mhm,
connected. And I am watching now how the digital currency
mhm.
is 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 more prevalent than cash dollars,
Yes.
right? And so, we got to be careful that we won't be in a system of control. Revelations
Mhm,
talked about there will be a time where if you didn't do things
mhm,
uh, the way the system, that you won't be able to be fed, and you won't be able to get the necessities of life.
mhm,
um, and I think that we're pretty close to some of these things happening when and the tracking of things,
mhm.
right? But back to this war, it what they're calling it, it is it's really war.
Yes.
They bombed a girls' school, all
Yes.
girls' school,
Mm.
and it's just travesty. And then they don't have a plan. They bombed, and all Trump said was, "You all take over the government now," right? And
That
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 doesn't make
sounded
any
bizarre and crazy.
right. We're gonna
Mhm.
kill your leader, and you
Yeah.
all now take over.
Yeah. You just take over, and all this time, they're saying, "Well, wait a minute, what are we supposed to do?"
Right.
And that's what people don't realize. And it goes back to in the slavery time how after some of the slaves were freed, they were still on the plantation, because, and it wasn't because, hey, I want to be on the plantation. It was because, okay, what do I do now? And
Right.
so there has to be a plan. Those people were have been oppressed. Some of them loved it because it made them be, the elitists. And but for those that were poor, and the laws are left out all of those people. They don't know what to do. So you had some of them dancing in the streets and all of that. But what do you do past that point? And then the nerve to just tear up the infrastructure of someone's country and then say, okay, now y'all fix it.
Now,
You know.
let's bring all of this into some kind of context, because now in the first year of this president, he has bombed two Muslim countries,
Mm-hmm.
right? He has bombed um, people on ships
Mm-hmm.
or on boats in the middle of the ocean who he says were trafficking drugs. Now, we don't
Mm-hmm.
know because there wasn't any investigation or evidence. So he's been bombing folks.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken over. He went in and took over the leader of Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Him and his
and
wife.
all
He took him out. Yeah, him and his wife.
he and his wife. All of this, and we haven't even. He hasn't even been in office 6 months yet.
Wow. And the thing that's so sad with all of this is that there's no accountability. And I go
None.
back to again, what in the world? Are we in America? Or where are we? Because if Obama had done that, even if George Bush had done that, junior or senior, there would have been all types of, I don't know, all kind of Senate hearings, all kind of this and that. It would have been a lot of things going on. And so it's like, what is going on? Because it
Right.
doesn't make sense. All the systems that we have in place as a country, they have not been honored. They have not. Basically, he laughed in the face of the Supreme Court and said, hey, I'm still going to do tariffs. As a
Right.
matter of fact, I'm going to
Right.
raise them a little higher. Let's see what you
Yeah.
do with that.
Well, let's also look at as we move a little bit to this
Okay.
Clinton to the Clintons testifying with
Mm-hmm.
this Epstein stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There is, he has a history of saying I did not have sexual relations.
Go ahead, Bill. That's his statement. He's sticking with it. At least it doesn't
He-
change.
yeah, he has a history. Uh, remember Monica Lewinsky, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know, but Bill may have a little freak in him,
Yeah,
and
he might.
they got
Oh
the
Lord.
pictures. They got the pictures of him
Oh my
in
Lord,
a
Bill.
jacuzzi with a young woman
Oh
around,
Lord.
and on the Epstein island.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
in
mm.
there, there's emails and all of that with his name in it. Well,
Oh my
but
goodness. Oh my gosh.
his I might get in trouble for this, right? But that white woman Hillary,
Hillary.
she sticks by her man. I
Oh
was
yeah. She ride or die. She is ride
she
or die.
ride or die. Now I was wondering, you know, unless there's a whole lot of money involved, that
Mm-hmm.
she'll, because we do know a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times money is their god,
Mm-hmm.
But how many wives? Now I already know black women, but how many wives would be that ride or die with their husbands?
I don't
She
know. With a
through
picture?
she done went through the Monica Lewinsky. She done gone through now the Epstein files and now pictures of him in a jacuzzi, in a
Mm,
pool. Like that's over the top to me.
Yeah, Bill too cool for school. He too cool for school.
But now guess what? If that was
Hmm.
a black woman, uh,
Hmm.
we would be saying she crazy, she
Hmm.
this, and why is she,
Hmm.
sticking? But we're not
Hmm.
saying anything. And again, maybe it's because the millions and millions of dollars are on the table. But it is amazing to me that that Bill can say you're blind, your eyes are lying to you. You don't see
but
you
you, but
don't
you
see nothing here.
I don't know. I mean, my father, God rest his soul, he said, you never, if you're a public figure, if you have any aspirations of being a public figure, if you do things that where people, it'll make a difference that can how people conceive you and see you. First of all, you want to live right because it's the right thing to do by God.
Right, right.
But you don't want photos all over the world of
Mm,
you doing this. My thing is at the level that all of these men were at, why were you smiling and taking all of these pictures? I mean, if you're a married man, why are you allowing them to take a picture of you in a jacuzzi
mm,
with somebody? What is going on with you? And then Hillary, it just may be for some people, they don't view infidelity the same way as other people
right.
as they do. I mean, we can look at the Smiths
Yeah,
and yeah, and so what does she have an entanglement? So they don't see
yeah.
things. They say maybe
In
like
that
you
sense,
said.
Will is Hillary though.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Everybody
he
asks
is
her
because he
why
loved Jada. Yeah, he looked at Jada with love and answer and longing.
yeah,
But and so maybe for them that isn't the worst thing that could happen in their marriage. Maybe it's others. It depends on what people's values are, how they were raised, what they've experienced, with them, what their mental psyche is and how they view things. But for me, and you got pictures, because now I'm feeling like you done humiliated me before the whole wide world, everybody, Jesus and everybody.
right,
Yeah, so
right.
you gonna have to go, because we won't be able to just sweep this under the rug. I love you. I'm gonna go on TV and cry. I wanted to stay. I tried to stay, but I couldn't. And I wouldn't expect a husband to be okay with that either.
So
Vice versa.
all right, we can say we can look at Bill as if these allegations are true, he will be looked at as a scum, right? But how do
Hmm.
we view how do you think we should view Hillary in this?
Uh, well, okay, and I don't
That's a
believe in
tough,
these things. Let
that's
me
a tough question, right?
let me prerequisite this with this. Let me just go ahead and say I don't believe in this. But some people have arrangements in their marriage where
Mhm.
they live their life and they live their life, and maybe that's what they're doing. That's not a Christian thing. That's not our
Yeah,
approach to marriage and to
right.
life and living. But for them, that may be their approach. That's how when you come on and you see shows where it's two or three wives and it's a guy and they all happy together, like yes, he's our husband. They sister
Look,
wives.
I
So
was
maybe it's
teasing
one of
my
those
wife.
things.
I was like, "See, baby, you need to take." I was teasing Lakeisha. I said, you need to take some classes from Hillary.
Oh Lord, no. Mm-mm. Pastor Troy would tell you he wouldn't get to do that with me. Now don't lessons from Judo, and I wouldn't get to do that with him. Oh my
Right,
gosh,
right, right.
no.
All right, so let's move on to let's see the new voting
Hmm.
laws and the election changes. You want to bring everybody up to speed on that?
Well, looking here at the voting and election policy changes, what's happening? Well, ongoing debates around voter ID laws, proof of citizenship requirements, and changes in federal and state election oversight. This affects us because historically, adjustments to voting laws have been, well, disproportionately affected all the time Black voters, but particularly seniors and low income communities. Even administrative changes can influence access and participation. Civic awareness is critical to protecting this. Endangerment of losing our seniors and those that are in low communities from not being able to come and vote. It's something really to put a fear, I feel,
So,
into them.
so let me put a twist on this before we start talking about
Okay.
the black folk. Let's talk about the brown folk.
Okay.
Um, you know, Trump and MAGA was able to trick the predominantly brown community to vote for them during this past election.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that they are not going to be able to trick them this next go around in election. So they had to put some things in place to
Mm-hmm.
scare them.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that the real has been revealed, they have now put some things in place, proof of citizenship
Mm-hmm.
requirements, voter ID laws, and they're changing, the jurisdictions and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
gerrymandering to now make it hard for them. Now, for the African Americans, we have seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, through the '60s, they used to make put a test. You had to guess how many jelly beans was in a bowl in order to get a chance to vote. You
Mm-hmm.
would have to memorize documents and answers questions in order to vote.
Mm-hmm.
So they made life as hard as they could to stop the black vote. And so this is something that's not new to us. What we have to do is just make sure that we satisfy the needs that they're asking,
Mm-hmm.
which we can do. We also have to educate our people so that they'll be prepared when they go to the polls. And then the third thing is be committed to voting. If you got to
Mm-hmm.
stand in line for 2 hours, stand in line for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You got to bring your ID,
Bring it.
bring ID. Just be committed because we got to do all that we can do to make sure that we get these folks out of office.
And we also need to understand that every vote counts. We have been misled time after time. We'll watch the news and they'll say, "Oh, it's at 70% that are for Trump," and so we're thinking to ourselves, "Well, that's only 30% left for the other candidates." So why am I going out to vote? My vote is not going to count. Yes, your vote is going to count. Every single vote counts. We're back at it, people. We're in the civil rights movement 100%, just like when we had Dr. Martin Luther King, when we had Jesse Jackson, all of them. We're back at that place where we need everyone to vote. Your vote
That's right.
counts. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
does.
got to get to the poll, Lottie Dottie and everybody. We got to
Hello.
get to the polls, um, and we have to not just get to the polls and vote, but we also got to hold our money back from these people who are not
Mm,
don't have our interests. Those are the two things, other than God and the church,
mm-hmm.
but money and voting are the two things that we have um, in our control as far as power. And so we
Yes.
have to make sure that we're utilizing our power the best that we can.
Yes.
I don't care if you got to take off work. I don't care if you have to bring a chair. Do whatever you can to make sure that your children, your
Mm-hmm.
parents are voting. This is crucial to our survival.
It is. And I love that you said it's for our survival. When these things are happening, we think, Oh, not me and my three. Yes, it is you and your 3 and 4 and 5.
Yes.
Because as we're going to the grocery stores and the prices are through the roof, and you're looking, hey, am I going to get? I used to get this loaf of bread, this honey wheat, but I'm going to have to go over here and get this giant
Yes.
honey wheat because this one costs $3 more than it used to cost. And so you're having to do some things and balance and do balancing acts with groceries, with food, and all those types of things. And so yes, it does count. We need to have people in office that can relate to us. I can't, if I'm a person and I'm rich, I don't know what it means to be poor.
That's
No
right.
matter what I say, I don't understand that. When a person can come on and say, my dad only gave me $1 million to start my first business. What are you saying? Most people are aspiring to be a millionaire. So your dad only gave you $1 million. So you don't understand my plight. You don't understand the person that needs food. You don't understand the mother, the single mother that barely has enough to make ends meet. And you're telling her you're going to change the prices even more. Then you're going to hold up the stamps. You're going to cut the stamps. Okay, you're going to try to come in and mess with healthcare. Oh, I'm covering a lot of things. Let's stop me. I'm just going down that
No,
rabbit hole
you're
of things.
absolutely on it. The thing that Trump said that he ran his campaign on was that he was going to lower the prices for groceries. And
Mhm.
and the last time I went to the grocery store,
Oh, my Lord.
it was things had gone up tremendously, and it's just me and my wife and
Hmm.
in our house, but I'm still spending now what probably 90 or 80% more than I
More.
was spending before he got in the office,
Yeah.
and I'm not eating more,
Hello.
but the prices are higher, and
Mhm.
and and guess what? His party, the people who voted on for him, they're not saying anything. They're not holding him accountable. They're not reminding him to do what he said he was going to do. There is no accountability, no
No.
integrity, and it's just atrocity. The rich are getting richer, and the
I mean,
poor,
filthy rich.
yeah,
Not rich,
and,
but filthy rich.
and the poor getting filthy poor.
Yes.
And we actually have nobody to help us, and that's why
Hmm.
I keep telling everybody there's nobody coming to save us. We got to save ourselves.
Hmm.
Of course, with the Lord. I
With
was
the
with
Lord.
a preacher, and the preacher is doing great work, and he is have a mental illness center, mental health center in
Hmm.
his church,
Hmm.
and the people were paying rent to the facility to provide the service. But since
Wow.
Trump has been in office, the money is no longer coming like it was, and they
Wow.
can't pay the rent. So the church is now in a situation where they were providing a
Mm.
space for a service for their community, but now because the federal government and this big beautiful bill is cutting funding, now the church has to decide whether or not to keep this tenant, which is providing a service to the
Mhm.
community, or they have to evict the tenant, and now there's a void in the community. This is this big beautiful bill. This
Mhm.
president of our United States, this MAGA, is choking the
Mhm.
life
The
out of
light.
our communities. They're
Mhm.
choking the life out of our communities, and we have to figure out, number one, we got to vote. Number
Mhm.
two, we got to hold our money, and number three, we have to figure out how to take care of ourselves.
And that's the thing. We don't realize the power, economic power that we have in our dollars. Here's the thing about us as African Americans. We like to look good. We'll spend our money quicker than a lot of the other people will spend theirs. The Chinese, Japanese, the white, everybody. African Americans, if we like something, buddy, we're going to spend our money and
Right.
we are going to get it. But what we need to do is say, hey, I'm going to make my money, my dollars circulate in my community
Yeah.
where it's benefiting me as well as it's benefiting those that are in business. And I know where my money's going.
Yes.
But we won't
So
do that.
on the webpage of the
Mhm,
Center for Racial Equity and Justice, there is a list of of black-owned
mhm,
businesses that you can go to, and this is in the DMV
mhm,
area, the district, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area. And there's a list from car dealerships to hotels to barbershops to get the ladies getting their feet done, the pedicures, to clothing stores, everything you need, black pharmacies, black grocery stores, black. There's
mhm.
everything you need on that page on that website to do to spend your black dollars so that we can circulate our money in our community, at least with people that we know look like us and have the same value system we have.
Yeah, when on Saturday when I was at the event Reimagining Black Wall Street, they talked about Wall Street the Black Wall Street when it was in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about that on an average, that money, the same money circulated about 23 times in
Yes.
in that community, the same dollar. It didn't leave outside of that. They had hospitals, they had grocery stores, they had everything that they needed. And I have to tell you, there's African Americans doing everything that you need right
That's right.
here where we live. You may have to drive a little further because of course they are entrepreneurs and theirs may be a little smaller, but they still have the items that you need. And then there are some that are still big that we just don't know about. And we need to really make sure if we could just, with that economic piece alone, we could get their attention.
Right, right,
We
right,
talk about not spending on the 30th of the month or whatever. No, that's not going to hurt anybody. If we don't spend for a whole month, I mean, we in advance, we plan and say, hey, we getting our stuff this month. Cause
right.
next month ain't nobody spending then.
That's
Listen,
right.
and we don't spend them dollars. Oh, everybody will come to the table.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And we can do it.
Yes, we
We can
can.
do it. You know,
I,
I haven't been to Target
mm-hmm, me,
since the boycott. And
mm-hmm,
guess what? I ain't missed nothing.
nothing.
I haven't missed a thing. I have
Mm-mm,
gone other places to get things, but I realized that Target um, wasn't the only store that sold the things that I needed.
mm-hmm,
And because we have stopped going to Target, it has impacted their business uh, uh, so much so that the president had to take a pay cut and a new position.
mm-hmm,
They are losing money by the millions
mm-hmm,
because black folk have decided not to shop at Target. And I would say to you to continue to boycott Target. We're in, you said it, we're in the new civil rights movement. We're
mm-hmm.
in it. And
Yes.
what would it be said 20 years from now about what you did? You know, we all can do
Mm-hmm.
something. When that one thing, it's not hard to stop shopping at Target. Just don't go.
No, it wasn't.
Somewhere
It
else.
wasn't at all. It
Right.
wasn't at all. That's what's strange. It wasn't at all.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you gotta have the consciousness
Mm-hmm.
to be in the struggle, to be in the fight. And
But we need
that
to
goes,
make a list. I don't think it should just be Target.
yeah,
That was a seed that was planted in us. So
right.
hey, we can keep doing that, but let's make a list and let's go down
Yeah.
that list. So we're
So
bringing those
personally,
major ones, to
yeah,
the table to talk
personally,
with us.
I stopped going to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
When I stopped going to Target, I stopped going to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
That was just me.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that they went hand in hand for me.
They do. They do.
Yeah,
They Wally
I,
World. They all together.
I stopped going to Chick-fil-A
Mm-hmm.
once I heard that he was a Trump supporter, and and
Wow.
and so I know that a lot of folks do that, but I don't do Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
I've just decided now that you know if I wanted something to eat, a lot of times I'll go to that black owned
Mm-hmm.
restaurant that's struggling and get me a
Mm-hmm.
burger or get
Yeah,
me
Ella Ray's and
yeah
places like that. Yeah, that's got
get
good food.
got good food and you're supporting
Mm-hmm.
black, right?
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
why do we always have to go to certain places to get something? Try something else.
Try
And like
something. Try something else because our food is good.
that's right, that's right.
Mama
And
and them, that's what you grew up eating from mama and them was the food that they're preparing.
so let's shift a little bit
Okay.
into um, mental mental wellness,
Okay.
and I'm gonna bring this up in a different perspective.
Okay.
I believe that racism is mental health,
Mm-hmm.
right? For one to hate, to strongly dislike, to mistreat, to abuse someone just based on the color of
Mm-hmm.
their skin, I think that's mental health. I think that is absolutely something is wrong. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is that we have normalized, our country has normalized, or the world has normalized that it is okay to hate, um, and I'll say to hate based on the color
Mm-hmm.
of your skin, right?
Color of your skin.
So I'm a Christian, so the Bible says that you shouldn't hate anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand
Mm-hmm.
if somebody hates somebody for mistreating them. I can understand a victim hating their the person who raped them. I can
Yes, I can.
understand um, a mother hating the murderer of her son, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't understand someone hating me just because I'm black.
Yeah, and they don't even know you. And not just that, what's going on is you're being penalized if you're trying to have a conversation about it, like we're having a conversation about it in what's considered a safe space. That
Right,
means at church, that means at your community centers, you're being penalized. They're doing it all under this thing of DEI. Anything that says that is for one particular group of people, but not, it's okay for it to be these people, but it
right,
can't be these people.
right,
And it's making it where people are very stressed out. That mental health is really, really being affected. They're stressed out. They're overwhelmed. The suicide is up. People don't know what they're going to do. I mean, if you kiss your husband or your wife goodbye in the morning and then ISIS gets them and you never see them again,
right.
because they don't send them back to where you came from, they send them somewhere else. Those kind of things are like life changing kind of things. And if you say something, you can be shipped somewhere or you can lose your benefits. I mean, it's really, really, we're in a time where
Yeah,
mental health is something that's very, very important. In some kind of way, we're going to have to figure out in our Black communities how to begin. Pastors again, and they're going to have their schedule full, and preachers of people that they're talking to as we're trying to bring in specialists and professionals to talk with our members to tell them what's going on and that they're going to be okay.
well, this is a part of the reason why I believe everybody needs a church. Everybody
Mhm.
needs a pastor. Um, if I didn't have a church, if I didn't go to church, I,
Mhm.
I wonder my mental stability, right? I
Mhm.
wonder because I'm crazy
Mhm.
already in church. So if I did not have that moral
Mm-hmm.
compass
Mm-hmm.
to help me to sustain my mind from not jumping off that cliff or smacking somebody or doing the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I I I think that a lot of folks are self medicating
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have that that pastor or that church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or and if they do, a lot of them are not in their word and disciples. It's just me, maybe I'm wrong,
No, you're
but
not.
into being a disciple of Christ. And I'll even say that same thing for the Muslim community because
Mm-hmm.
you know, seeing them from the outside in, they ain't following the
No.
tenets of their religion either. And so I see a lot of people that are not serious about their God are
No.
now self-medicating with marijuana or what they think is marijuana. They don't know what
Mm-hmm.
they're smoking. And other drugs,
Other
cocaine.
drugs.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they now mixing, the pills, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't think of the word, the clinical word, but all of the de-stressors
Mm-hmm.
that the doctor is giving people. Uh,
Yeah.
Folks are self-medicating
Mm-hmm.
only to find out once they come off their trip
Yeah.
that their problems follow them and
Yeah.
they're facing them as soon as they get up.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, and I think you're, as you were saying, I was thinking as you were talking, I think you're talking about like the antidepressants, the things that they give you that would kind of help to balance you out, that would kind of help with that anxiety, that anxiousness, those kind of things. They are self-medicating. We have more young adults that are turning into alcoholics now. We have them, they're more apt to try riskier drugs and those kind of things. And that age group, they're having a lot of suicide, a lot of overdoses, and a lot of that is from not being able to cope with life and what's going on around us. And so with the older group, what's going on is it's like we can't believe it. We thought this was over when they said we have a dream, and Martin Luther King said I have a dream, and we thought, hey, we were in the promised land. Yeah, Upper Marlboro, Prince George's County. Well, guess what? We're not. And it's like, what am I going to do? I've lost my job, my good paying job. Now I'm about to lose my good house, and I'm going to lose my nice car, and I won't be able to, tithe like I used to tithe. Everybody's going to know. It's amazing the things that affect our mental health. Whereas we'll think, oh, okay, well, you're alive. That makes no, there's different things that make people whole. And when they begin to lose those things, they spiral
Yeah,
out of control. And so we're witnessing that
yeah.
even within the congregants.
I have to every so often, at least once or twice a month. I remind the church. I just say things like, "Did everybody eat last night?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? Did everybody have something to put on your back?
Mm-hmm.
Did everybody have a bed to sleep in? Because we're constantly hearing the negative. We're constantly seeing the
Mm-hmm.
negative. We're constantly being told the negative and what it's going to be and what's happening. But
Mm-hmm.
the reality of what's happening in our lives is that
Mm-hmm.
God is taking care of us,
Yes,
right?
he is.
The reality, not what CNN or MSNBC or Fox is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, all of that is true. Let me backtrack. All that we see could be
Mm-hmm.
happening, but the reality is that the God we serve says
Mhm.
that I've never seen the righteous forsaken
All
or
right,
his
now come on
seed.
now.
And so I have to remind us that God is taking care of us and our children. I
Yes.
preached yesterday. I said sometimes our children don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
We tell them don't go, and they still go. We tell them it's a mean old world out there, and they
Mm-hmm.
all there. You just talking, and all we can do is pray that they make it home. And
Yes.
once we text or once we
Mm-hmm.
get that door open, we can
Mm-hmm.
we can have a sigh of relief
Mm-hmm.
when they text back or we see them the next day or whatever, right? But the truth about the truth is, folks are getting killed on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
But God is keeping us. God is
Yes, he
protecting us.
is.
God
Yes,
is
yes.
saving us from dangers
Mm-hmm.
seen and unseen.
All right, you're gonna make us have church up in here. Go on now.
Well, we talk about mental health, and we got to understand that God has already blessed our mind.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's why He says, "Take my yoke
Mm-hmm.
upon you and
And
learn from me,
yeah.
because my burdens are light." You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're worrying. Somebody out there is worrying. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry in the Lord. You can't worry and have
Mhm.
faith at the same time.
No.
Give it to the grandma said, take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we go to church, we have altar call prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And that is time where we reflect on what we need from God.
Yeah.
Taking our problems, praying, praying, and leaving them at the altar.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is mental health. Now, I'm not saying that there are some folk that don't need to go see to have therapy. My
Mm-hmm.
wife, I started having therapy,
Mm-hmm.
and then I ended up talking about therapy, and my family started to see a change in me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started. My dad went to therapy,
Mm-hmm.
my sister went to therapy, my wife
Mm-hmm.
went to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So they saw the effects of it in me, and
Mm-hmm.
they started going. I then my wife and I, we
Mm-hmm.
did therapy together, not because we
Mm-hmm.
had marital problems, but
Mm-hmm.
we just wanted to instead of walking around with an attitude or something on our mind, we wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have a safe place where
Mm-hmm.
we could come and have a referee.
Yeah.
And so once a month,
Mm-hmm.
we were going to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said, sometimes she might not have been comfortable with saying something to me because I might have
Mm-hmm.
blown up or took it
Mm-hmm.
the wrong way, or vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. You
Mm-hmm.
know, maybe I didn't want to hurt her feelings. She cooked
Mm-hmm.
something I ain't like, and I ain't know
Mm-hmm.
how to tell her I ain't like it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the therapy it created a safe space,
Yeah.
gave us tools on how to communicate, and helped us to understand. So one of the things, and I could talk about this because I went through it so much.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that my wife likes to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good thing because I don't like to talk. I know y'all don't know that, but I don't like to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and so I rather sit back and listen. But there are sometimes when I'm overloaded and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to express that. And so
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that the therapist was helped us with,
Mm-hmm.
that I can say to her, "Baby, I don't have the capacity to listen right now,"
Mm-hmm.
and she wouldn't take that and be upset,
Mm-hmm.
because before I would be like, "Babe, I don't feel like it. I'm not right now. I can't," and she would
Mm-hmm.
get upset.
Well, yeah, because that sounds like, oh my God, you saying you're not gonna make time to listen to me.
Right, right. She felt
Mm-hmm.
rejected. But when I say,
Mm-hmm.
through the lens of what we went through in therapy, baby, I don't have the capacity to listen, then she was able to hear it a different kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes life lighter and not
Yes.
heavy when you're able to use some of the tools. And I think that all, especially black folk, we are
Mm-hmm.
dealing with
Many things.
social PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes,
white
we
folk
are.
has beaten us down through the systems of racism. And then we beating ourselves down with self hate and with just being trifling sometimes
Mm-hmm.
to each other and ourselves, that we need to kind of learn how to work it out. That's not saying you don't need God,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes God works through vessels.
Yes, that's why he equips us with the things that we need. And I agree with you. It's so amazing that you're saying about the PTSD, because on Saturday, one of the gentlemen said, excuse me, he said, when will we be able as a people to deal with the PTSD? Because we have experienced that. I can remember from a little girl up until now that we have always been trying to overcome. We have always been oppressed. No one, has a problem with the things that they do to our community. So that's just, I said, man, he said, we need to have a revival. Well, we just
Yeah,
people could just come. That he said, I'm saying just for African Americans, well, we can just say, and
yeah.
just release this PTSD and acknowledge it that we have been going through this our entire life.
Our whole life, and we really need to learn. We need somebody to come and teach us
Mm-hmm.
how things are affecting our spirits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the Bible talks about the mourners,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those
Mm-hmm.
who were mourners, those
Mm-hmm.
who were criers, the
Mm-hmm.
weeping, the weeping saints, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things affect our spirits.
Yeah.
And you're right there with me. We do
Mm-hmm.
a lot for mothers who police
Mm-hmm.
kill their sons,
Mm-hmm.
and and they tell us how much it helps them to know that somebody is still caring,
Yeah.
right? And at any given moment they're still weeping for
Mm-hmm.
their children,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so how does racism affect our spirit?
Mm-hmm.
When we see a Michael Brown laying on the street,
Mm-hmm.
Trayon uh,
Mm-hmm.
Martin being killed or over some Doritos, some
M&M's and stuff.
Skittles, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or the young brother in Baltimore that we talked about last week, who was killed in the back of a paddy wagon. Like,
Wow.
how does that affect us? We as Black folk, um, we take a licking and we
Mm-hmm.
keep on ticking. But
Yeah, but with the ticket, as you're saying, but the issue is that we're, like you said, we're just oppressing and taking on more and taking on more, and we're like a boat that's taking on water, and we keep just, instead of the water going out, it's just still coming in, coming
yeah,
in.
yeah, it's crazy. I liken it to being overloaded, right,
Hmm.
with trouble. If a computer overloads, it freezes,
Yes, it does.
and we have become numb
Hmm.
to to death.
Yes.
We have become numb to normalize the things that aren't normal
Hmm.
because we've experienced it.
We've experienced it.
We've
And we know somebody. If we personally haven't experienced it, we know someone, I'm talking within our
Yeah,
community, within our family, who has actually experienced it. So it's not something that's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened over there. No, we know
right.
people just right in our core group of folks that have experienced these different
Yeah.
things.
So last topic I don't know if
Okay, let's
you've
go for it.
heard about this. If not,
Hmm.
let's do some research on it and bring it back
Okay.
next week.
Okay.
There's supposed to be a movie where Omar Epps is the star,
Mm-hmm.
called Moses, the Black Moses, or something like that. And
Oh.
the it was supposed to be released last week, but the
Mm-hmm.
movie theaters won't release it because they don't want to depict Moses as being a black man.
Wow.
Yeah,
The thing, yeah, I just touched it here. The thing is that when have they ever wanted us to portray as
yeah.
African American any of the major roles? Who was it that played Moses? Was it Charlton
Charleston
Heston?
Heston. Yeah,
And listen, and we thought that that was Moses because every year it came on. Remember, as a
right.
child, at the same time,
Yeah, so
and our
that's
parents would
real.
sit there. We would sit there and watch Moses. The Ten Commandments, and it wasn't didn't come on just one night. It came on for 2 or 3 nights, and we all watched it, and I didn't think anything about it. So they want to maintain that narrative that we are not those characters. But if you go in the Bible, it's so funny, and you look at a description of what these people look like. Even if you go to real world now, they look closer to us than they do to them.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I may be wrong. I'm looking it up now.
Mm-hmm,
It's not about the story of Moses in the Bible, but it's about a black man
mm-hmm,
avenging the uh the the crime scene. So he's coming to save the black community. But
mm-hmm.
they won't open it because they don't
Well,
want a black hero.
because not just that, they're still okay. Look at what he's doing. He's taking the name Moses. Okay, Charleston Heston.
Hmm.
Okay, white is right now. That's how they're looking at it. And then we're going to say he's a hero. He's saving the African American community, and so he's bringing light to, hey, it's possible for there to be someone to come and save them. Still, as if you look back in Moses saved and delivered his people. You understand?
Right,
And
right.
so, without, even though this is a different spin on it, they're still seeing it as we're turning it into, just like Charleston Heston was a hero.
Yeah.
This guy is a hero. Why are they calling it Moses? Call it something else. Call it
So
some gang name like they do all the time. Yeah.
the theme is the movie explores faith,
Mm-hmm.
redemption, and the contrast between a violent life and a spiritual awakening. So if he was being a thug, or if he was
Mm-hmm.
being a criminal, a gangster, then they would be all open, all for it, and open this to the
Mm-hmm.
masses. But because he's coming from a gangster to a spiritual awakening, they don't want us to see that positive black man.
No, they don't. And then to see that it's being produced and those kind of things, the money that's funding it and those things, they're not. It's produced by 50 Cent. The film features Wiz Khalifa and
Hmm.
Quavo, blending gritty modern street life with spiritual transformative.
Right,
Okay. They don't want to think that we can be transformed.
right,
No,
right,
even
right.
though the word of God says that we can be,
That's right,
they don't want that narrative to be out there that we can be transformed. And these are African American men.
man.
Okay. Because if we can get the men, listen, in the right place,
That's right.
in our world, the African American man, look at what a major difference that would make in the life of the family, in the life of the child, in the life of the community. They
Hmm.
don't want that to happen. So
Yeah,
hey, they're
yeah.
not going to want to release that.
So now that you done brought that up, what do you
Mhm.
say to the black woman that say they don't need a man?
Then she don't know the man I know because I need one. And
What a
I
man,
had
what
to
a
say,
man, what a
what a
man,
man.
what
I had to say, I have never been one of those women that said I didn't need a man. I
yeah.
think it has a lot to do too with the perspective in the house where you were raised. My grandmother, early on, you started learning how to cook at 11 and 12, because you were going to have a husband. In my
Mm.
in my family, you were going to have a husband, you were going to have a family, and
It
so
was-
you needed to know how to cook. And so I started off on cornbread, and then moved to other things because I got to be able to cook, for my husband, and I want my husband to like my cooking and be want to, come home to me. My grandma said you have to make your home nice and calm, or your husband will want to come home. So I think it has to do with how you're raised. And in my family, it's like that's what you aim for, is
Right.
to the mom, the dad, the husband, the wife, the children, and an extended life. So I was never one of those. I was planning my wedding with the little Barbie dolls and stuff, probably at
I got
10.
in, I got in trouble at my church
Uh-huh.
with the women because I said most um, black inner city women
Mm-hmm.
that we experience in our churches
Mm-hmm.
in today's generation
Mm-hmm.
were not raised to be wives, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said because either two things happen. Either you grew up in a home that there was not a wife example,
Mm-hmm.
right? Single mom,
Mm-hmm.
or you were being taught go to college, get your degree, and be a boss,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I believe you can go to college, get your degree, and still be taught to be a wife, right?
Yes, I'll give you an example. My daughter, the one that goes there to Howard, she's in medical school. And even though she's in medical school, she wants to be this boss surgeon when she's done. Still in that, she wants, her husband, and she wants children, and she wants the family
Right,
a theme. And maybe whoever she winds up with, she may wound up being a surgeon making way more
right,
than they
right,
make, but
right.
it's still important to her that she has a husband and
Yeah,
that she has children. So I think that's why I'm saying, if we can get the black man back into that positive role,
yeah,
I think it will begin to spin some of that, because the black man has been portrayed that he's lazy. Okay, he's abusive, he's mean. Okay, and he's not going to take care of his family. As soon as a kid come around, he's going to get gone. You won't be able to find
that's
him.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
how
so that's
they
what's been pushed.
yes, they are portraying us as animals, as these uncontrollable thugs. And then on the other side of that, and I know we got to go, but I mean
Hmm.
this just brings up so much. On
Hmm.
the other side of that, have you seen that Tyler Perry new movie?
Oh my Lord, yes I have. Oh my Lord, I couldn't believe it was Tyler. I
So,
was like, what in the world is really going on?
so a couple of things is, you know,
It's out of control.
men got to put on the dress, you know,
Hello, it was out of control. It was out
and
of control.
yeah. So it's I don't know. It just seemed like he was trying to prove something to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't understand why. That's not most grand. That's not. I don't know any grandfathers like that.
No.
I don't know any uncles that are like
Mm-mm.
that in our community.
Mm-mm.
As a matter of fact, I remember the older guys telling me, the ones that were involved in
Mm-hmm.
criminality, they were telling me, man, don't be like me. Get
Exactly.
off this corner. Your father
Mm-hmm.
a preacher. Don't
Yeah.
do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while they may let you sip,
Mm-hmm.
off of their drink, but
Mm-hmm.
they were telling us go to school, man, make something
Yeah.
of yourself. So I just really didn't understand um, what Tyler Perry was trying to accomplish.
I didn't either. I mean, the excessive use of the N word was just like unbearing.
Yeah.
Just over, you just couldn't bear it. I couldn't. I said it's just too much. And then just the things that he vividly showed. Uh,
Oh yeah, I forgot
yeah, I
about the
can
sexual
believe all of the
scenes and all that.
sexual, things that were shown. It was just, it was like, what in the world is going on here? Is this? And I looked, I said, is this really a Tyler Perry movie? Is this
Yeah.
somebody joking?
And,
Because
and You call yourself a Christian. You know, you
Mhm.
call you that you the
It was
boss.
raw. This one was
You don't
raw.
have to do you don't have to make a movie like that. Ain't nobody forcing you, at least I don't think they are, to do
No,
that
they're
to
not.
our
Mm-mm.
community. You
No,
know,
because he's well established now. He's a
right.
well established, respected person. I mean, they put him in their movies, okay, where he's starring in a movie.
Yeah.
Basis he's the one that's producing the music. I mean, the movie or paying for it. And so I was just really, really just taken aback. I couldn't believe it because now we want to change the narrative that our young men that are going to school that are educated, okay, that in
Mhm.
them being educated, that somehow they're missing the black experience. Well, let me tell you, you can't miss the black experience. I don't care
Mhm.
what school they're at, they still remind you that you black.
Right.
That's
Right.
everywhere, all across America. You can't
Yeah.
get it confused. And to make it seem like um, that somehow they have to have that kind of little twist and twang to them for them to be okay. And they, and if you got to go. I didn't realize I needed to go to Morehouse. I didn't realize I needed to go to this or that. I just think the whole thing. I'm one for going to. Let me say it: historically black colleges and
Right.
universities,
Uh-huh.
100%. But they made it seem like if he wanted to go to a WI, that there was something wrong with that, even though I got to say it, and I'm going to say it on here. When someone gets up, even in our circles, as a pastor or preacher, and they say they took a class at Harvard, we treat them like they what they the golden child or
Right.
something
Right.
special
Right.
about them. When we
Right.
get the brother that stands up that went right over there to Howard School of
Right.
Divinity, okay,
Yeah.
brother, and we'll be like, oh well, yeah, but he had a paper. They published this paper.
Right.
And they
Right.
think, well, guess what? They published it, but they still thought of you of just black, just like you are. So the whole thing was just a really like whacked out, kind of crazy thing to me. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
I think somebody needs whoever, and this brings up, a different who's covering him, right?
Yes.
Somebody needs to be able to pull him to the carpet and say, "Hey, man, that this one ain't cool."
No.
Already the issue of why you gotta why you gotta dress up like a female
Mhm.
to in order to get your plays or get your movies on air. Is interesting in a conversation in his own, but
Mhm.
now he's going in a whole different direction
I mean, a whole.
of being vulgar, right?
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't want my parents to
No.
watch that movie,
Mm-mm. And
Yeah.
that's known my young adults. I wouldn't want them to watch that,
Yeah.
or especially the little ones because they have access to Netflix, all those
Right.
things now. Uh, I wouldn't want them to watch that, and I was just surprised. Remember, he stated about 5 years ago that he had retired, Mud Deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
It's
said he wouldn't be doing
interesting.
it anymore, and then it came back. And so sometimes what we have to realize and remember as African American Americans is that all money ain't good money.
Nope.
Just because you can make it, and then how many millions do you need to make? I wish. I'm not saying I don't want none, folks. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, but how many millions do you have to make before
Sim-
you say, no, this is what I'm not willing to do to
right.
make? Yeah.
Right. You can't be bought or borrowed, and that's probably
Mhm.
why we ain't millionaires.
Hello. Hello. Like, come on, Jesus. Come on.
Right.
Come on, Lord. Just one. Just give me one of them, Jesus. 1 million, Lord, and I'll be good with that.
Listen, if I get a million,
Hello.
you tell me what you want, and I got you.
Hey, listen, everybody gonna know. We'll be able to put. I just want to say,
Uh,
I'm a millionaire. God has blessed me
look,
richly.
me and my father, we have this debate. He
Mm-hmm.
talk about if somebody win the lottery
Mm-hmm.
and they come and bring money to the church,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking it. I said, and I tell him, well, just close your eyes.
And I'm gonna put it on in there.
Because I'm gonna take it. They can give it to me, and I'll put it in there
We're gonna put it on. We're gonna put it on. 'Cause how they say we're gonna put it on in
and
there.
pray for it.
Hello, so it can do some good, and
That's
some people
right.
that need it, they can be rich, okay, in the things that they need,
Yeah.
food, clothing, services that costs money to do.
Listen, and I'm gonna put some Bible on it. The Bible says the wealth of the wicked is laid
Uh,
up oh,
hello,
for the hands of
hallelujah.
the
Trying to
righteous.
say, hallelujah. Let them come on in, Jesus. Send them, Lord. Let them come on in.
That's
I wouldn't, I wouldn't turn it down from them,
no.
because I would say, okay, well, at least you have enough sense
Hmm.
to give it some back to the Lord. You didn't think that you
Yeah.
did it by yourself. That shows a consciousness of, okay, Lord, I know that you bless me. Okay, because they're gonna say, no. Anything that happens in this world, and I know this could get into a debate with
Hmm.
everybody, it's what God allows.
Right. Right.
Okay. And I'm not saying God is a gambler or better, none of that. No, Tanya didn't say that. Make sure, hello, people. What I said is anything that happens in this world from the president on down,
Right.
it's based upon what God allows.
That's
Okay.
right.
And so when it happens, yes, bring that. If you got $100 million, bring us our $10 million so
Oh,
that we can,
yeah.
do everything we need to do. You what we've been praying for.
Right.
Hallelujah.
Right. So yes. Listen, we had a great show tonight. We
Yes.
thank you for being with us. We want you to. There's a QR code right here.
Mhm,
We want you to scan that QR code. It says "Scan Me," so you can
mhm,
join us. You can ask questions. We're on every Friday. I'm sorry, every Monday night at 9
mhm,
a.m. And you can be with us in the studio live, a virtual studio
mhm,
live. You can type in your questions, your
mhm.
comments, and we can read them online, and you can be a part of this
You can be
conversation.
part of it.
And
And,
and go ahead.
go
I'm sorry.
ahead. No, you go ahead. Hmm.
And we're going to have special guests. You can come on and be a guest
Hmm.
and talk about some of the issues that we are bringing up today.
Yeah.
This is a open. Many of the topics today we didn't even discuss. We just brought
Mhm.
them up and
Yeah.
having a good conversation. So this is our show. It's your show. It's our community show, and we want you to be a part of it
You're
on
part of it.
Talk It Out with Gilbert and Miller.
And so we want to make sure we're going to make sure that that scan code, and we're going to check it, the QR code this coming week, because I thought we would see more people trying to interact because we're going along to make sure that this is actually the QR code, not where they can just watch us, but where they can actively participate with us. So I want to do that. I'm going to go in and make sure that is where they can participate with us. Are you scanning, brother?
I'm scanning now. Let me
Okay,
see.
where did it take us? Please don't say it didn't take us nowhere. That would be terrible. If you said it didn't take us nowhere, that's gonna be
I
our
don't
show.
know what to tell you.
Where it took us.
Oh, so it takes you to listen. So I don't know if it is live. No, it took
Okay.
me to last week's show.
Okay. So it took you to on our website, or did it take you to Podbean?
Podbean.
Okay. So if it took you to our podcast thing, the Podbean thing, that means that because this show won't be up and there's only audio there, it'll be up in an hour after this show. So we need to change that QR code
All right.
to the one that lets you into the conversation. And we'll make sure we do that next week so that you can be on the line with us, because we don't want to just be in the studio
Yeah,
by
we
ourselves. We
want to
want to
talk to you
hear.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to hear what you have to say. So until next time,
This is Gilbert and Miller.
and all
Let's
righty,
talk it out.
talk it out. All righty, I'm getting ready here if I can
You ain't do
move.
the applause this time.
Oh, let me go on up to the thing. Intense applause. I found intense applause.
Yes.
They are intense. So now we're going to do our drum roll and we're going to close it out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm learning.
Hey, hey, turn it up. Hey, if you want a real talk, no holding back from faith to facts. Yeah, we keep it stacked. Laugh a little,